Hi, the story I'm about to tell is based on the clay pot of the Bilbil people on the coast of Melbourne province in Papua New Guinea. It is based on the amazing story of a young man named Ron, who had established a harmonious relationship between astronomy and humanity. He got married to a star woman who taught the people in the village how to mold clay pots. The knowledge and skills of molding clay pots had been passed on from generation to generation and had become one of the best traditional technologies ever in the prehistory. So nowadays, clay pot is seen as one of the evidence of the Indigenous Astronomy in Papua New Guinea. Thank you.
Once there lived a man named Ron. He lived with his mother happily on the coast of Melbourne province in Papua New Guinea. Ron was a very smart and handsome young man. Every night, Ron went fishing during new moon, and before dawn, he would look up to the sky and admire the twinkling stars of the morning sky and always dreamed about them. The stars gave him light and showed him the direction of the tide, what types of fish to catch, and when to fish. One night, Ron went fishing again, but he didn't catch any fish at all. He felt tired and confused, so he tried to study the lights and the patterns of the stars carefully. At his amazement, he saw one of the very bright shining stars disappeared from the sky, so he tried to see carefully. After a while, he heard a loud knock at his back, so he turned around to see what it was. All of a sudden, he was shocked to see a very beautiful woman standing at his back. The woman smiled at Ron and greeted him fondly. Ron got panicked and asked who the woman was. The woman answered saying her name was Honfian, the star that Ron always stared admiringly at. Ron loved the woman and proposed marriage to her. The woman agreed, so they hugged each other fondly and they paddled home. Early in the morning, they arrived at the beach and walked hand in hand to the house. When the villagers saw Ron's beautiful wife, they were all amazed and happy. They welcomed them with songs and dances. Ron's mother presented a new balloon to the woman as the sign of her approval of their marriage. They held big feast and celebrated the arrival of the new couple. Few years later, the couple had a son and they named him Banak. Banak had grown very much. He could talk, walk, and listen. At one dinner time while eating, Honfian said to her husband and mother-in-law that she knew how to make clay pots and she could learn the villagers to mold them. Ron and her mother thought of having pots for cooking, and they agreed with Honfian's idea. So at every first week of the new month, she learned the villagers to mold clay pots. One morning, she left her son with his grandmother and she went to work as usual. During the day, Bana killed a grasshopper with his bow and arrow, and he gave it to his grandmother and she cooked it for him. But she was busy weaving the balloon and the grasshopper got burnt to ashes. So Banak started to cry. His grandmother tried all her ways to stop him, but he couldn't stop. She got angry with his noisy cries and belted him, saying that he was the son of a star woman If he was earthly, then he would listen. So Banach kept on crying until his mother returned. Her mother saw him crying and she was wondering. She got him to answer, and he said her grandmother belted her, saying that he was the insane son of a star woman. His mother heard that, and she was very sad. So he decided to return to the sky. She comforted her son because he was hungry and worried. Early next morning, before dawn, Banach and her mother ascended into the sky. Further and further away they went, until they reached the sky. It was during the full moon. Therefore, nowadays, when you look up to the sky, you will see the two stars following the moon, one after the other. This is the story about the origin of bilbil clay pots at the coast of Melbourne province in Papua New Guinea.